Hello there, so this one I'm calling The Ages. So I'm going to take this opportunity to explore the ages, like the age of Pisces, which is the one that precedes the one that's just dawning at the moment, the age of Aquarius we are now, and looking back and taking us out to the bigger picture. So the first thing I'd like to explain is that when the sun does, so let's start again, when the Earth does a complete revolution around the sun, we often think of this as being a solar year. It's really an Earth year. So how long it takes the Earth to go around the sun is 12 months, that's 1 year. And so each of the signs of the zodiac takes up 30 days, and we can work out how it all flows from the age of, so from Aries beginning on the 21st of March and working all the way around to Pisces on the 20th of March the following year. So that's what we call a solar year. Now, just as much as the Earth goes around the Sun and the Earth and the solar system are part of the Milky Way Galaxy. Now, the Milky Way Galaxy, to complete one galactic year, takes actually 25,920 Earth years. So that's the way this all, 28,000, let me repeat the number, 28,920 Earth years. So that's the basic picture. So when I think of the age of Pisces, which is the one that is ending at the moment, and its end really began back on 1904. So each age takes 2,160 Earth years to elapse. So that means the age of Pisces takes us all the way back to before year 0, and we go back into year BCE. So for the first 2,000 and odd years, that's what we've been having. We've been having the age of Pisces, which is very much about belief, and that has manifested as religions all over the world, of people having beliefs which they subscribe to, which in extreme cases become dogmas. Now, what's been happening since 1904 is we've been feeling the very first rays of the dawning of the Aquarian age. The Aquarian age is based on a completely different principle. It's not about what we believe, it's about what we know through our own research, experimentation and understanding. So that's the age that we're in now. So it's not at all surprising that the whole technological initiative has taken to such extremes it has with AI and all the rest of this, because this is very much part of the age of Aquarius. And so one of the activities which is very Aquarian is science and everything to do with information technologies and communication. Now, if we go back, all the way back, let's leave behind the age of Aquarius, which we've just started to come into, and then go all the way through the age of Pisces, then if you were to look at your chart of the zodiac, you see that the next one that comes actually is Aries. So the age of Aquarius, of Aries, would then start approximately around about year 0 and go back to 2000 BCE or thereabouts. So what was the overriding theme in that time? It was very much to do with conquest, to do with warfare, to do with battles. And when we look back into history that we know about, we can see how that relates. So from year 2000 BC to year 4000 BC, remembering these figures are very approximate because I'm talking about chunks of 2,000 years, which really 2,160 years to be precise. So if we go back to then, we're then in the age of Taurus. When I think about the age of Taurus, I think about the consolidation of power. I think about the civilizations like the Egyptian, Sumerian, Babylonian, those kind of civilizations. And that was very much based upon the values of Taurus, which is building and the consolidation of resources and power. If you go back from 4000 BC right the way back to 6000 BC, you would find that the overlighting energy at that time was Gemini, and Gemini is all about communication. When in fact I'm going to take a quick slip back, because if you go back beyond the age of Gemini, 6000 to 8000 plus, more than 8000 years BC, then that puts us into the age of Cancer. Cancer is the age of the hearth, the home, the family and the tribe. And when we go back that far, I'm reminded of the Atlantean civilization. So the Atlantean civilization was very much based upon its own continent, and there was an incredible awareness and ability amongst the inhabitants of that particular time. But what's so interesting to note is that we're all aware that what happened is that there was a catastrophe and the continent of Atlantis sunk beneath the sea, and those that were awake and aware, the technical term is they had the hole in the top of their heads open, so their crown centres were operating. They had this intuitive sense to find some way to escape just before and even during that cataclysm. Many boats of people set sail, having escaped, and they literally sailed to all different parts of the globe, the new world, the old world. And when they arrived in these new places and they met the peoples of that land, then they were able to share all their accumulated wisdom and understanding and knowledge that they'd acquired in Aquarius, and they were able to share that with the people where they'd arrived and be able to learn from them too. So the best way to grasp that is that the end of the Atlantean age meant this huge dispersion of people all over the world, and an unprecedented amount of communication. So it was a really big time of communication. And my feeling as I was working my way through this is this would have been around about the time that the Vedic civilization would have started to come into existence, with the end of Atlantis and the beginning of the Celts, the Egyptians, the Aztecs, the Incas, Chinese civilization in India. All over the world there were these new civilizations of people living in these new ways, with so much communication taking place. So my idea really is just to show you a bit of an understanding about how things go in a bigger picture. And if I just zero in a bit more about this Vedic civilization, I'm speaking about it really spreading 8,000 years ago. However, what is so very particular about the information that comes from India, from the Vedas, as they refer to it, Ayurveda, the medicinal system, the Vedic astrology, so many different practices. The thing about their spiritual culture is that it is well known to be in excess of 25,000 years, which means that it has been around so long. We're talking about the best part of a galactic year. And I was looking back to think, okay, so a whole galactic year earlier there would have been the age of Pisces, and then the one that followed that would be the age of Aquarius. So I could see that going back such a long time ago, that would have been when Vedic science really developed and their culture became so well established, and all their spiritual practices based upon chanting mantras, which very much relate to the emergence of the universe out of the primordial nothing, that all that information, they've been carrying it for such a long time, longer than any other religious spiritual system I'm aware of. So bringing this right up to the present time, the main thing to grasp is that the dawning of an age takes a long time, bearing in mind that each age is 2,160 years. The dawning of an age is going to take well over 100 years. So if you think about 1904, that was the very beginning of the age of Aquarius. From that time all the way to 1967, when we had global movements for peace and love exploding worldwide, that was another big opening up of the Aquarian age. Because the main thing I want to say about Aquarius is for the benefit of humanity. Aquarius is us getting together in a global community, which is what has been prophesied by so many people, and what relates ultimately to the new earth. So when you understand that here we are in 2023, that's over 100 years have gone by. It's rather like in 1904 you could see the very first rays of sun lighting up the sky in the east, and then imagine fast forwarding to about 2023 where we are now. That's more like, okay, well, it's been gradually getting lighter, but all we've been seeing is rays, that's all. And then suddenly the sun just starts to poke above the horizon, and we can see the very first sliver of the sun with its really rich, deep, orangey yellow glow. That is where I would say we are now. So the dawning of the age of Aquarius hasn't even completed yet. It's just we've finally gone from the first rays to seeing the tip of the top of the sun. So it's going to take some years more for this dawning to be completed, and during this time we will find a lot of the old ways, the old belief systems collapsing, a lot of the structures collapsing, and that's all going to be part of the heralding of a new way of being, which is best understood by operating primarily from the place of love and learning to become in tune with each other, and to the extent that we realise that the harm to one is a harm to all, so all we can do is our very best. So that is where we are headed, into the deepening of the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Thank you very much.